think you look fantastic. And it's not that you didn't look fantastic before. It's like you look so happy and you look so, like I said, like when I first met you on Below Deck.
Yeah.
Why did you decide Jenny Craig? Was there any particular reason?
So I think I just heard such great things about it from other people. So I had a girlfriend do it about 3 years ago, and she successfully lost the weight, and then she stopped doing the food but kept kind of her portion sizes down and kept all her weight off. So I think they've just got a really good reputation.
Mm-hmm. And is it good too, because you're a busy mom, you're a busy businesswoman? Did you find it a lot easier to just not have to think like what you're going to have for dinner, just have it like that?
And I think, to be honest with you, that's why I was kind of tripping over when I tried on my own, because it was like researching recipes and then going to do the whole grocery shop. But like, if you've like been working and had the baby since like 6:30 in the morning and they're finished screaming or whatever at 7:30 at night, the last thing you want to do then is spend like 30 minutes prepping and then 20 minutes cooking and then 20 minutes cleaning up. It's like, so I was finding that I was still, even though like I would have all the food in my fridge, I was still just ordering Uber Eats out of complete exhaustion, you know?
Yeah. So, and then what is the food like? I mean, I talked to Brittany from Vanderpump Rules, and she insists the food is good. You're a foodie though, so I trust what you say. What's your assessment of it?
So do you know what? I always say, like, you're not going to get like a Michelin star meal from a package that you put in the oven, you know? And I knew that going into it. Mm-hmm. But in saying that, I was very surprised, because I basically just kind of, when I started, I'd never tried the food before. So I kind of just resounded to the fact that I would have bland food with no taste until my weight loss was done, you know? And I was okay with that, because I go, I'm fine. Like, I know that I have a goal to hit. Once I hit that, then we can start looking at bringing, you know, tasty food back in. But I was actually really pleasantly surprised. It's got flavor, it's got texture. It's not like eating cardboard, which is what I was kind of assuming I would have, you know?
Yeah.
So they've got these beautiful little, like, you also don't feel like you're dieting, if that makes sense. Like, they've got these gorgeous little pork buns. There's like meat pies, which we love in Australia. You do like a whole bunch of vegetables on the side. There's pasta, there's chicken pad thai, which is like my favorite go-to like takeaway dish. Yeah. So you've actually got quite a wide variety, and the food is very good for food that you're losing weight for, you know?
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, because I think that's sort of one of the things that people think, oh, you're going to be eating cardboard for whatever. But and then as far as like working out, I mean, you're chasing a baby, but did you have to throw in anything else, or was it just chasing Ava? Kind of.
So I did a lot of chasing Ava, especially at that age. Yeah. But the new Max Up program has these great bands. So I would just honestly, like, after Ava would go to sleep or in her nap time, I would just have them near the TV and just pop on like a mindless show and just start doing some kind of exercises like that. And the thing that I loved with the new Max Up program is they really push water. Because like, as you can see, I like drink so much water. So that's really good as well, because I think that's part of kind of your skin, your nails, your hair, your aging, all of that kind of stuff. Like, if you want to, you know, be in the sun and have some wine, like, drink lots of water.
That is so true. I know, because that's the other thing I can tell, like your complexion, everything. I mean, you look 10 years younger. So, you know, do you feel like you have more energy too?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, you know, obviously you have like people who love and support your journey, and then there's people going like, you shouldn't be you know, losing weight, you're a mum now, blah blah blah. It's like, just because I'm a mum, that doesn't mean I can't do something for myself. Like, my personal journey, I wouldn't want to have Ava and then start thinking about losing weight. Right. Like, I really loved just having that year. I wasn't uncomfortable. I wasn't hating on myself. My husband wasn't unhappy. Like, it was nothing to do with that. It just kind of got to the stage where it's like, okay, you know, she's a year old now, and now I can just concentrate on me a little bit and do something for myself, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So, and that also brings me to this new project that you were just doing, the Real Love Boat, which everyone's really excited. I know you can't say much about it, but do you know, will we be able to see it in the States? Or is that going to be?
I'm not sure. I know that it's definitely made for Australian television, but hopefully, like, you know, we kind of sell shows to you guys and you guys sell shows to us. So it could always happen. Okay. But I don't know if anything has kind of happened yet.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a release date for it, at least in Australia?
No, not yet. Okay. Hopefully, I think there's something coming out on Sunday, which hopefully will have like a little bit more information. They're keeping it very under the wraps at the moment though.
Okay. Can you share though what it was like filming it versus like the below deck type filming? Was it really different?
It was a really different experience. Yeah. And I think it's quite nice. So the one thing with Below Deck is they do, you know, Mark Cronin, who is the show creator, the one thing that was very important to him was like he wants to keep it as genuine as possible. Mm-hmm. So even though I was like 5 seasons into that show, I was still a chief stew on camera. There wasn't any kind of like special treatment or, you know, like there's like rumors, you know, like in the Bravo land, there's always rumors going around, but it's like, oh, you know, they have people coming in like off camera to clean for them. I'm like, no, we don't. That's why we look so exhausted and we're so grumpy all the time. So to his credit, he did keep it genuine. With the Love Boat, it was obviously just really nice to be kind of treated like talent instead of, you know, like that was nice. That was a nice experience to have. And like, yeah, it was just it's such a different show, obviously. And I'm in such a different position. It's not like I'm kind of, you know, the head person and in the middle of all the drama all the time. So yeah, it was good.
What can you share what your role was? Because I think we're looking at like the Love Boat, like the show.
Yeah. So I'm the cruise director.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's like the blonde woman.
Julie McCoy. Yeah.
Yeah, Julie.
Julie McCoy. Okay. Did you watch Love Boat?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it like for like 20 minutes before I left.
Oh my God.
Because like in my defense, I grew up with no television. Right. I had to buy my own TV at like 12. So we never had TV in the house. So it was just not something that, you know, and then by the time like, you know, I had a TV when I was like 17, 18, it was all like cable and, you know, like sneak over to someone's house to watch the OC or something, not so much like the Real Love Boat or the Love Boat.
Yeah, well, that was like a 70s show. So you were too little to even, but so you watched it and was it like you're making love connections on it? Is that sort of what it is and people come on or?
I'm not really sure how much I'm allowed to kind of talk about. I know that we're not like, I'm not supposed to do press on it now.
Okay.
Because they kind of want to, so but if this is going through Shane before it gets published, like, because I know that it was like approved with my management and stuff. So, but I just know that I'm kind of not allowed to.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't want to be pissing off the network too early, do
I? No. But you know what I do want to ask you about? I was in shock how people were giving you a hard time about leaving Ava and going to work.
Oh, yeah.
And that was mind-blowing. What did you think at first when you read this? Like it had to be a joke, right?
Yeah. I think I was like, honestly, I was just really disappointed. Because I feel like, you know, when you're on like something like Below Deck, there is just so much going on like all the time and you're getting so much like people's opinions and comments and things like that. But I guess nowadays I'm kind of not so used to it anymore because I feel like the people that kind of follow me on Instagram, they actually like are wanting to keep up with my life after Below Deck. Right. So I think, but at the same time, I've got to remember there's like nearly 1 million of them. Some of them will have opinions on what I do with my life, you know. Yeah. But I guess it's just, you know, like every every family's different. Like I would never shame like a woman who wanted to stop work when she had kids. Personally, for myself, I feel like I'm a better partner. I'm a better mother. I'm a better daughter. I'm a better friend when I have more going on in my life than just Ava. Yeah. Like she is my whole life, and I will drop anything for her. I will sacrifice anything for her. But I also know like we have, 3 days a week together on our own at the moment. And we go to the beach and we go to the park and we go to the zoo. Like we go to the zoo every single week, and she knows where to go, like for the animals she loves. And I'm very present with her. Yeah. And I can be like that because I'm a really happy person in myself as a whole woman. I'm not just a mother. And that's it, like I was a whole human being before she came into my life. And I don't need to ignore that person because she's there. Because I feel like sometimes, I know for someone like me, if I gave up everything for her, when she goes to school, like then what? Like my career isn't the type of career that you can like, be like, oh, I'm going to take 5 years off. Like, please still like be interested in me in 5 years time. Like I'm not a lawyer. I don't have, a degree. I can't just put it on pause. If I want to earn a living and have a career, I have to keep working in my field, so.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting too, because you made a good point, I think at some point in social media, that she's with her father. Like if Josh was traveling, people wouldn't go after him. And did Josh sort of be like, hey, one of my chopped liver, like I can take care of my daughter?
Yeah. And that's a lot of the things was like, where is Ava? I'm like, where do you think she is? Like, and I said, because my husband actually went to Melbourne last week. I said, did anyone ask you where Ava was? He's like, no. Why would they? I'm like,
double standard.
And it's just like, I even had a conversation, because like, I kind of felt as well, just naturally, and it's no one's fault, but it's like the amount of praise and bow down he got for, yeah. And I said, like, I'm not on holidays. Like I'm going to work, and we've got her in daycare 5 days a week. Like I know that it's like a lot on your own, but also women have been doing that for decades, and we don't like stop the press and put a parade on for them, like kind of suck it up, buttercup, Like I sometimes feel like he gets to kind of get up and put his suit on and go into the office every day between, 7:30 and 6. And a lot of the time I'm home with Ava on my own plus working, but that's kind of just normal. Whereas it's like, well, no, because the balance is,
Exactly. But I thought that was interesting and good for you for, telling people to calm down, because
I just kind of feel like we're so beyond that now. Like, and also it's like, gosh, the kind of reactions I was getting, I was like, do you know she's almost 2? And because of my job, I've had like every day with her for 18 months. So I'm okay to like then go, with every like sacrifice, there is like a benefit. So it's like my benefit has been staying at home with her and still being able to earn money. But Sydney's an expensive place to live as well. And I said to a few of them, like, if you would like to pay my mortgage, I'll go home. How does that sound?
No, exactly. And, it is interesting too, because even though you haven't been on Below Deck for a few seasons, people still talk about you coming back to Below Deck. I saw Mark Cronin with something like, Hannah can come back. Do you even want to go back to, now that you've been away from it, you're doing this fabulous new show, you've got a podcast, you got a business. Do you want to go back to Below Deck?
No, I don't. I definitely wouldn't go in and like go and start a season expecting to finish it. I'm good friends with Lee. I had a chat with him last week, and I'm friends with Jason, who does Down Under. So with those two, if they needed help, and like I said to Lee, we were talking about an interview I'd done, and I said, like, but Lee, like if you needed help away from Below Deck, I would come help you because I respect you and I like you, So I think if if someone quit or got fired and they needed me to come and help them, those two captains, I would do it. But I don't think I would be like, oh, okay, cool, I'll just go back and start doing year after year. Because, you know, it's very physically strenuous as well.
Yeah, no, and you've done it. You've been there. Now, I know also I've been waiting between you and Captain Jason to hear one story. I talked to Jason and I was like, listen, Hannah says that she's got some funny stories with you. And he wouldn't give them to me. So I was like, all right, Hannah's going to have him on the podcast. And I've been waiting. So can you please give us something?
With Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's great. But, you know, I always think as well, like what you put on TV, you're fine with it being out there, but us yachties need to be loyal and stick together and not tell the secrets of the drunken antics we get up to in our youth.
Yeah, no, and he is great, and they had a great season. I know you had some words with Ryan. Ryan, I know everybody had some words with Ryan. What do you think his deal is? Because he just seemed very wounded the whole season.
It's just, yeah, but the thing is I kind of go, there's some people who film.
Yeah.
And they kind of turn into different people when the cameras are on. So I was hoping that was it.
Yeah.
And it was just like his ego and his this and that, like smashing together. But no, he's just an asshole all the time. Like even on social media or Watch What Happens Live, like the after is still just the same, you know. But I actually said to Nadine, the showrunner, I was like, Nadine, why didn't you give me him? I'm like, you gave me the homophobic lady, but like, if you gave me him, come on, I would have so much fun with that. Like so much fun, because he's an asshole, but he's also so bad at his job. And that's the best people to like have fun with at work, you know? Especially when you're making a reality show.
I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, did you hear from Aisha at all during it? Because she was in it with him and she just constantly looked shocked.
I know. I was screaming at the TV screen. I'm like, Aisha, get him. She's like, but no, we spoke a lot, like before she filmed, after she filmed. She came and saw me after she filmed actually here. She's obsessed with Ava, which is very easy.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, no, so she's doing really well. And that was actually how I like ended up having words with Ryan, because he kind of insinuated in a podcast that she was like really fame obsessed and like her whole life was Bravo. And like Aisha is just so not that person. Like if you follow her on social media, it's like she's jumping off cliffs and driving around in a converted ambulance and sleeping in a tent and stuff. Like she's the least kind of Bravo fame hungry person there is. So I think, you know, when it's like I have my loved ones, like that Aisha is one of, I'm very defensive of them. So like I actually don't like, I think he posted something going like, oh, she's trying to be relevant or trying, like, you're lucky I gave you a comeback, Hannah. I was like, oh, honey, I'm good. It's genuinely just like, I hate people talking smack on people that I care about. And especially when it's so untrue. Like Aisha's just a beautiful, lovely, happy person. And the Bravo land and like her fame or whatever has not gone to her head at all. She's just the same, like, little dirty mouth trash bag that I met back in season 4 that I fell in love with, you know, like nothing's changing her. So I think I just got like angry on her behalf.
Yeah, no, I mean, he should have known better if he ever watched any Below Deck not to cross you. So I guess
well, it was really strange as well, because he said on Watch What Happens Live, he's like, oh, I had to Google who she was. And I'm like, don't brag about that, Ryan. If you're going to go on a reality show, you should probably Google the reality show before you go on it. Like, all you're doing by saying that is saying, like, putting your hand up and going, I'm a fucking idiot, you know? Like, you're just making yourself look worse, because you should know who I am if you've even Googled Below Deck, you know?
Yeah, or anything. Yeah, no, that was insane. Are you following, by the way, the whole Beverly Hills drama that's going on right now? Does it make you feel good that you're not in reality TV now that you're a parent?
Yeah, look, I think there's something to be said with, I hate the whole like children, I hate the racism stuff, but like with Housewives, it's like they go low, they go dirty. It's a pretty brutal setup, you know? Yeah. Like it's kind of like with Below Deck, it's like, especially back when I started, it was very much like real yachties doing a job. I think nowadays they're getting a little more like people who want to come on and be famous and get the Instagram followers and do OnlyFans. And like, so it's getting more like that with Below Deck. But, you know, 7 years ago, it was genuine yachties working on a boat. Yeah. But with Real Housewives, it's very much like you're signing up to like rip each other's heads off. And if you don't get brought back. So yeah. It's pretty disgusting what's going on, because I love Garcelle as well. I just think she's such a fabulous woman. And I'm definitely Garcelle and Sutton on Beverly Hills. Like, not a massive fan of the little clique, but it's quite disturbing. Especially I saw some of the comments and it's just like, but it does look like they're all from bot accounts. So
it's confusing.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Do you have any insider goss?
I don't. I'm just kind of following along, like just what is happening. It is. And then also, I know last year you had Sheena on the podcast and she got married this weekend.
I know. So like Sheena and I have actually kind of been friends for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. We started chatting on Instagram. So we've like caught up in Sydney, we've caught up in LA. I was just there a few months ago and I went and saw her for her birthday. And so I'm really happy for her, you know. I think Brock, it's like very, you know, it's very difficult sometimes because I feel like Americans can take a lot of like what Australians joke about or they say or their demeanor in the wrong way. So I think he probably got a bit of a shoddy edit. Because like I had him on the podcast and I've met him in real life and he just seems like such a good guy. So hopefully this next season will be a little more of a pleasant experience for him.
Yeah, the next season is crazy, I think, on many levels with Bella and Katie and Tom and everything. But before I let you go, there is something I have to ask you about yachting and boats. Did you see that Italian yacht that just sank?
I know.
You know, and I know you're not watching this season of Below Deck Med, but the stabilizers keep going out.
Oh no, I found like a loophole. Is it a loophole? Like a way to get around it. So I listened to Watch What Crappens, Ronnie and Ben, and I listened to their recaps of Below Deck Med.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I kind of I'm like, oh, I'm all up in like, I know what's going on in Below Deck Med for the first time in like years. So.
All right. So what do you think of this season? It seems bananas.
Yeah. So Reagan seems interesting and
yes.
And then like I don't know. Do you know what is very hard? Because like, obviously they've changed the chief stew every season since I left.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's such an important role on Below Deck, you know, to fill, because you want somebody obviously that's good at their job, but then like at the end of the day, you know, I love that we kind of go like, oh, it's yachting. It's still a reality show. So you want someone who's like funny, who's quick, who's like not afraid to take people on, who's not afraid to school their stews and, you know. So I'm hoping they find one of those soon, because the one that's on now doesn't seem like she could be very good at her job, but doesn't sound like that interesting television. And saying that, I don't actually watch it. I just listen to the recaps. Well, Ronnie thinks she's boring, so I think she's boring.
Well, yes, and it's Ronnie's birthday. But I agree. And I think it's that formula that people have said that you have, Kate has, and Daisy has that good at your job, funny as hell, but then you have these little funny commentaries, you know, that people love. And we haven't had that on Med.
Yeah.
So, you know, Katie Flood was fantastic.
She's lovely.
Yeah, she's lovely. But so you haven't talked to this one, this Chief Stew.
No.
Okay.
I know that there's a Natalia and a Natasha, but I don't know which one's which.
Natasha's
the chief.
Natasha's the chief and Natalia's the second, and they look exactly the same.
Oh my gosh, I saw that. And I was like, no, but they've just posted a photo of the same person. And then I read it and they're like, no, that's two different people. Yeah. But I even go in casting and I'm like, didn't you guys think that this might be a little like difficult, you know, even watching it? If you're watching like, anyway.
Yeah, it was interesting. But, you know, it was funny. I noticed the stabilizers keep going out. The boat's rocking. Glenn, they ran aground on sailing. Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to think like this happens more often than we realize. Do these crazy things happen a lot?
My friend who's a captain has literally been on a boat that got struck by lightning twice.
Twice?
Oh yeah.
God. Well, that's terrifying.
I'm like, how are you on a boat that got struck by lightning and then like 3 years later you're on another boat and got struck by lightning?
Time to give up.
Yeah, it was funny actually because that the clip of that boat that was sinking off Italy was put on like Sydney Morning Herald, which is like our local news kind of thing. Yeah. And I was reading the comments and one of them was like, you know, they were joking about like it being below deck and someone said like, oh, that's Captain Sandy would definitely blame Hannah for that. She wasn't even on the boat.
Okay, that is a good one.
And I was like, that's hilarious. And it's so crazy that I'm actually reading it.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah. But I'm starting to think like stuff happens, I guess. Have you ever been on a boat where something really scary like that happened?
Yeah, it was actually really hilarious because my first season was like a complete nightmare. Like when I went back to do a second season, obviously not on camera, like in real yachting, people were just like, I can't believe you're back. Cause I got adult chicken pox. I had a captain steal my passport. And then my boat caught fire while we were at sea. Oh. And the funniest thing was I decorated it for the charter guest's birthday. So it was like this bobbing like boat with like all these balloons everywhere that was like literally on fire. And we let out a Mayday call and another charter boat came and picked up the guests and I went to like get on and the captain's like, no, you like stay on the boat. I was like, but I don't want to be on a boat that's like on fire and sinking.
No kidding. Oh my God, Hannah, that is okay. That is scary. Oh yeah. Wow. So wait, how'd you get off?
So I stayed on the boat and I was going down to get fire extinguishers and I fell down the stairs. So I ripped tendons in my foot. But we got the fire out and then we were tugboat pulled to Elba in Italy and the boat was written off. So it was horrible actually because the captain was like, oh, the boat's written off for the season, so you're fired. So he gave me like €100 to get back to France, but my foot was in like one of those big boots because I'd ripped my tendons and I had like 50 kilos of luggage. Oh, so yeah, it took me like 3 days to like slowly make my way with like my crutches and all my luggage back to France on my own. That's honestly, I look back on my first season and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to help myself. That's so sad.
That's horrible. That is one thing after another. Oh my God.
And that's the thing is like, it's so funny because now it's like, if that happened to me anywhere in Europe, I would like call my friends and they would help me. But back then you don't know anyone, you know, to call to help you. Everyone's in Australia on the other side of the world. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, you'll have friends. If Ava decides to do something like that, you'll have somebody who could quickly get to her.
No, Ava's not allowed to do yachting. I am all about like other people going and living their best life and experience yachting. Ava will not be one of them.
I love it. I love it. All right.